Well, look at that. Next to this enormous hunk of glass, the colored glass shards I picked up earlier look ridiculous. I'd better get rid of them. Strange. The soil here seems darker and less packed than the soil around it. In fact, the mud in this part of the ground is a bit damp and mushy. My fingers even leave marks in it when I touch it. I'll do this very carefully so that the glass doesn't break in two. Perfect. The hole I've dug is big enough to get to the other side of the fence. I've dug a hole big enough to get under the gate. Now it's my private entrance to the park. Good God. There are dozens, hundreds of corpses hanging from the branches. What could have drawn all these people here? What kind of pain, what kind of desperation brought them here? These are the corpses of ordinary people who were living their ordinary lives in their ordinary little worlds up to a very short time ago. Could any of them have imagined meeting an end like this back then? Forgotten and nameless, swaying in the breeze like marionettes. And all those savages in uniforms did was close the park. They didn't even bother to cut their bodies down from the trees. I'm afraid that tonight, there are too many dark stars to count in Suicide Park. Although the crows have already done a thorough job on him, from what's left, I'd say that the corpse belongs to a young man, barely of legal age. Maybe with the help of the crowbar, I can get the subway sign off the wall. Damn it! I've managed to tear it down, but the subway sign is broken in two. I can't reach it from here. Maybe I should find a way to get to the bottom of this enormous hole first. As dead as that tree is, it still looks strong enough to tie the rope to. Before I go down, I'll leave the heavy stuff here, in case the rope doesn't support my weight. Underneath the surface, there must be many more of these stone things I see sticking out of the water. No doubt they're the remains of a structure that sank here. It seems like a small fragment of one of them is loose. I'll get my stuff. A small piece of sculpted marble. It's the head of an animal above what looks like flames or an open fire. Could it be a lion's head? The head of the lion above the flames. I think this must be yours.
The head of the lion. The head of the lion above the flames. The ruins of the temple still exist. Salvation is still possible. We can prevent it. We can still prevent it. Don't you understand? The annihilation of time. The wrath of God for our arrogance. There's still time. I have to return to the ruins of the temple. I have to go back to the ruins of the temple.
Wait a minute! Whew. There's no question in my mind, this man is a complete lunatic. Okay, let's see if I can open this. Got it. Blah. It looked better from outside. Rainwater has seeped into the car. Now it's damp and mildewed. And it seems like the seat cover on the driver's side is a little loose. Let's see. I'm sure that if I tug on it a little... Good. The upholstery came off along with one of the elastic bands that was holding it to the seat. So, let's see. I just made a primitive homemade slingshot.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, kids.
We got Mom out of the house. Now what about that reward?
Yes. I think I have something you might like. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. They're just kids. And this could get them into trouble. I know perfectly well what they're going to use it for, but their aim is amazing. And a little commotion on the camp fence could be a good thing for everyone. Besides, they want to do something for their father, and those pigs at the gate deserve a surprise.
What is it, Michael? Tell us, what is it?
I know it's something you're really going to like. Here you go. It's a slingshot.
It's a slingshot! Thank you, Michael. With this, we'll be able to hit the watchtowers. Come on, let's try it. That'll teach you, pigs.
Attention, all units in Sector 12. Report immediately to the North Watchtower. I repeat, report immediately to the North Watchtower.
What's going on? I don't know. It must be something serious. Come on, let's go.
You hit him! Haha, yes! So what do we do now? I don't know. We've got to get out of here. Quickly! Run!
I better take this with me. Oh, shit. The key's not in the ignition. One of the soldiers on sentry duty must have it. Anyway, I should have figured as much. Tomorrow comes today. There's something about the composition that's strangely familiar to me. Some memory related to my former life, perhaps? Or maybe it's just a memory glitch caused by the Great Wave. This quilted fabric fits the size of the window perfectly. Okay, let's try this. And let's cross our fingers that the seat cover absorbs the noise of the breaking glass. If the soldiers next door find me, they'll blow my head off without bothering to ask questions.
You've done it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm safe now. God bless you, stranger. You saved my life.
Take care of yourself, old man. And I don't have to tell you, don't open the door to strangers. Getting into a punching... Let's see what's on the other side of this hedge. No! Please! These visions! My head!
You won't get any of his things. I won't allow it. Do you hear me?
Michael, is that you? Thank God we found you. It's me, Chris. Don't you recognize me? But there is a solution, Michael. All is not lost. There is still a possibility of salvation for us. For each and every one of us.
You have to stop this, Michael. You have to quit.
I can't do it!
It's destroying us, don't you see? It's killing us.
It's that demon inside me! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
These visions are getting more intense all the time. The pain is unbearable. Who's Chris? Salvation is still possible, he said. Could that be true? And once again, that female voice has been haunting me since I woke up. Who is she? Why was she so distressed? What the hell happened to us? Or is going to happen to us? Okay, I'll wear the gloves to cut the electrified wire. Perfect. Let's see what's down here. It's a trapdoor, and it looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time. I can hear the buzz of electricity coming from inside, but I can't figure out anything more without a little more light. What is this place? Where the devil am I? It seems like the small building at the ground level is just camouflage. The most important part is here underground. Are all of them dissolved? How many patients can there be packed in here? Dozens? Hundreds? This is horrible! Let's see if this grate can be removed. Perfect. It looks like this hole leads to a passageway on the other side. This glass cabinet has dozens of medications stored inside, classified by type: antibiotics, anti-inflammatory drugs, diuretics, and, painkillers. Locked, of course. I'm starting to get annoyed with this sense of ownership I see in all the people with closets, lockers, and other storage furniture in this city. I'd rather use a key to open this case, but I'm a bit short on time, so...
Who is it? Who's there?
Oh, excuse me,
What are you doing here? Have you come to steal something? Take one more step and I'll call the soldiers.
No, wait, please, don't do that.
Security, this is Nurse Uma Grundy. I need you to come right away.
No, wait! Wait a minute, did you say Uma? Nurse Uma?
Yes, that's my name.
Wait, please don't turn me in. I know your father. I saved his life just a few hours ago. They were going to deport him to the refugee camp, but I was able to stop it.
My God, did you say my father? Tell me, how is he? Has anything happened to him?
Don't worry, Uma. He's safe. He told me about you and your work in this place. He was worried. He'll want to know that you're all right. Wait, please don't turn me in.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. It turned out to be a false alarm. You don't have to come, thank you.
Thank you, Uma. You did the right thing. My name is Michael.
But now you should explain why you burst in here like that. What are you looking for, Michael?
I came to get medicine. I need a cure for the dissolved.
Cure? There's no such thing. You won't find it here or anywhere else. The authorities distributed a memo among the medical staff months ago. I'm sure you can still find a copy of it around here somewhere. It told us that they've definitely abandoned the search for a medicine. You made a mistake risking your life to get in here. The only thing we store here is pain. This place is a tomb for those poor infected devils, but also for the people who work here. I'm sorry, Michael. The dissolved are condemned to death.
No, that can't be. There has to be a solution, a cure. Oh man, poor Rod, poor Colin. But I heard in the refugee camp, they said a cure is being produced and stored here. Well, if that's not the case, what's the purpose of a building like this?
The Army deliberately keeps that rumor about a possible cure alive. You see, as long as people still have some hope left, it is much easier to control the city more effectively. But it's a lie.
I understand.
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave, taking advantage of some abandoned underground facilities. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on their project to rebuild the city. They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, we had no idea the disease would become so widespread. I left my job in a clinic downtown to come here. I wanted to lend a hand. They demanded total confidentiality about our work to avoid causing panic in the population. Not even my father knew what we were really doing in here.
Yes, he told me that when I asked him about this place.
At first, we treated the patients with great care. There was medicine to ease their suffering and even research into a possible cure. Everything was going smoothly.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. When the number of patients multiplied, we couldn't keep up. And then we began to run out of even the most basic supplies. And that was when the Army took over complete control of the center.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was allowed to leave, not even us. We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months, isolated without even a glimpse of daylight. They say it's for security reasons. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah, now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers, and then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can do to ease their suffering. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it. That's all we can do with the resources we have. And sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Condemned to die. I heard their cries of pain out there. What really happens to the dissolved?
These people suffer the most excruciating pain and die in the most horrible way I've ever seen. The first symptoms are bouts of nausea and fainting, which become more frequent and prolonged as the disease progresses, until in the end their entire metabolism enters a state of shock. Then their entire cell structure dissolves. It simply disintegrates. There's no medical explanation. It just happens. But there's something even stranger about the disease.
What could be stranger than what you just told me?
The dissolved become erratic, unpredictable, eccentric. They're uncontrollable. That's why the army fears them. They're afraid of their unpredictable behavior, but also of their strange messages. So the sole function of this place is to keep them locked away, hidden, and under the army's control, until death takes them off their hands, one by one. It's also why people who harbor the dissolved are punished. And it's also the reason for the existence of the cleanup brigades.
But I thought they were just controlling the patients to keep the disease from spreading.
But that's a lie, a blatant lie. The spread of the disease is accelerating. The number of cases is multiplying every day. But it's not contagious. We doctors and nurses have been treating the sick for months, in direct contact with them and their remains. And the rate of contagion among us is no higher than out there. The army is lying.
But then, how is the disease spread?
We don't know, Michael. No one knows. What we do know is that it's not caused by direct contact with the victims. There's another reason for the Army's secrecy about the dissolved. Fear. It's human nature to fear the unknown. We tend to panic when faced with something we don't understand. And this damn disease is more than any of us can handle.
And what is it that makes the dissolved so unpredictable and dangerous?
They know, Michael. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, they know. They talk about events no one else knows about. They sense things. They bring back information from the places they go. And they talk to the dead there, Michael. They communicate with the dead. They know, Michael. That's all.
They're just sick people, Uma.
No, they're more than just ordinary sick people. You wouldn't talk like that if you had been living with them, and their messages and their prophecies all these months.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the dissolved make prophecies?
Let me tell you a story. When I first came to the center, I became friendly with a patient, a 13-year-old girl. All the time I was taking care of her, she never stopped chatting. She told me all about the underground highways. She said she went there every day.
Underground highways?
She said they all went there when they lost consciousness. Obviously, I felt great pity for the girl, but in time I also came to feel tremendous fear. I was afraid of that poor, hopeless child. Her visions, her dreams, her messages terrified me. And then one night she sat down next to another patient, an older woman who looked surprisingly healthy. According to our calculations, this woman still had a few months to live. The woman had just lost consciousness. "Leave me alone with her," the girl said to me. "It won't be long now." And she took the woman's hand. And just seconds later, the woman started to dissolve, shrieking and writhing in pain, until there was nothing left of her but a puddle of brown, viscous liquid. The girl turned to me and said, "I knew she was leaving us, and I didn't want her to go alone. That would have been very sad, wouldn't it, Uma?" The girl's face was still dripping with the remains of the patient. She knew what was going to happen, Michael. She saw it. From then on, my fear became uncontrollable. I felt defenseless next to her.
I understand.
Finally, my panic was so great that I refused to go anywhere near her. And I even, God forgive me, I felt secretly relieved when she herself finally dissolved. They know, Michael, and that's why they're so dangerous to the people in power now.
The cleanup brigades. I've seen how they behave.
They're savages. I despise them. They're like predatory animals, heartless and unscrupulous. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting expeditions. The GPSs, the disease detection tests, their ID badges, Each unit is made up of 2 soldiers, 1 doctor, and 1 nurse. I mean, doctors and nurses collaborating with those bloodthirsty animals. But then they say, what do you want? It's our job, and somebody's got to do it.
Yes, that phrase sounds familiar. It's bone-chilling. Police and criminals using exactly the same words to justify their actions. You gotta do what you gotta do. That seems to be the slogan of the executioners of this new world.
Talk to my father, Michael. Tell him that I'm all right, that he shouldn't worry, that we'll be seeing each other soon, very soon.